Welcome to your magical moon message. This is the peace dealer, moon in Scorpio, sun in Capricorn. We're coming up on a 300-degree angle relative to this lunar phase between the sun and the moon. This is the Aquarius signature, which is associated with rewards from career being the moon and Libra aspect across the nodes. So we're taking the cardinal action and understanding of our social balance, or the social understanding of how others react or respond to our character, and what we're also picking up and being receptive to. And this is strengthening in an understanding of wisdom, bringing in these rewards of career, 11th house Aquarius, with other people. This wisdom of where these rewards belong. Let's give you the Capricorn perspective. Aries, you as an individual, Libra is not going to represent your point of success. They're going to represent the other person. But now, if we are taking a collective organization, say like a corporation, Libra is going to be the consumer response. Of course, the 10th house of Libra signifying, as an example or archetype, how much people loved your project or how much people didn't. Or, of course, what is the reputation of the public opinion that you have based on what you do. We want to look at how this is opposite of Cancer, who has Aries in their 10th house, and their point of success is individual. Hence, where you will see the raw and somewhat unpolished extent of how this could express itself. Where we also have Chiron here, which is going to be 4th house, to once again the corporation archetype. We like Cancer because they're sincere, and so they are known for giving you their authentic self. This is opposite of a corporation. If someone is the president of a company, they can't be on the mic like, this is how I fucking really feel. No, they're usually going to be like, well, in representing this company where I'm representing more than just my individual self, and so I have to make sure the brand is on blah, 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 blah. So what do they hide? Aries, the 4th house. When they finish doing the speech and they're off the cameras and they're like, I have to say all that bullshit for the mic so that's 4th house Aries. And what Capricorn is helping you uncover with Chiron, that is now making that angle, or actually the sun is making a 270-degree angle to Chiron, or coming up to do that, since it does move faster, as we can see. So this is helping you overcome a lot of what 9 months ago you may have tripped yourself up on by, or have overcome even back then by initially sowing the seeds towards that direction. Now with this final conclusion awareness, we're moving in that proper direction with our integrity. So this is where this Aquarius signature comes into play. I want to get all the math out the way because this entire transit is nasty work. If nasty work was a transit, this would be top 5. Everything about this transit is going to be nasty because, just hot take, if everyone in the planet had integrity, then this would be pure. But clearly, there's a lot of impureness in the world. So this is going to be nasty. This is going to be very messy. What is going to make this very nasty is a broad realization that maybe, because we want to look at Scorpio as a social sign. So Cancer is an individual sign. That's just your own feelings. Scorpio is now like a mix of people's feelings, and people feel very strong about things. So you see Scorpio in its representation of trust and sex. Because if I were to get naked in front of you right now, not here because I would get banned, but if I were to get naked in front of you, I would have to trust you in order to swap spit with your body, because we do that. And in order to plug orifices, like, that requires an element of trust. This is what makes Scorpio a very intense zodiac sign. Scorpio in the eighth house also requires trust in order for the bank to legally hold your money. In order for you to trust anyone with your resources, that is also a Scorpio concept, an eighth house concept. So what happens when organizations that were supposed to establish this brand of trust are untrustworthy? What happens when you uncover that there is no trust in an industry you're in or in what circumstances you are in? Is that what's going to happen to you? I hope not. But using that as an example, as an archetype, it will give you a really broad feel of, one, the intensity of this is just the archetype, and then two, the reality of it with Uranus and Jupiter in Taurus, with Jupiter's direct now. So the reality of now seeing people who you felt you can trust completely change and transform once they realize that you are more valuable than they could calculate before. This is a gross generalization, but imagine you weren't taken necessarily as serious, but now people are starting to see you more as a dollar sign because you have improved on your own worth and value. And we may see an inverse of this, where you're dealing with others who don't necessarily see or recognize that. But the reason why we want to take this innovation of value into play is we did 14 days ago, I believe, have the moon transit Jupiter and Uranus. So this moon in Scorpio transit is not only an initial harvest that, if you think every 2 weeks when the moon goes into Taurus, relative to where the sun is, we're coming into a re-understanding of our worth, that Jupiter is evolving and that Uranus is innovating constantly. So by the time we get into the moon in Scorpio, other people's money, or what other people desire about your worth or not, when they play psychological mind tricks so that you devalue yourself or flatter you, right? This is you now feeling what about what you're worth you can trust to give with others, or what you can trust in others. Just an example. And now the sun is in Capricorn. So because that is completing this Libra moon cycle, now that we've established this trust, or now that we're establishing this wisdom, what you could definitely look forward to with the Uranus opposition is an uncanny explosion of wealth. And the reason why this can get messy is if you're around people, something like this could be you winning the lottery around all the wrong people. So like now there are people who know you're like, you have millions that you would never want to know. I'm not going to say that's what's going to happen, but I want to give you that kind of dynamic. This is what makes it messy. So the whole lesson of this, Scorpio and Capricorn are best friends because there's trust. They're an ascended connection, right? Scorpio provides Capricorn a sense of belonging where they can trust. That is a gross overgeneralization, but just to kind of spell this language out, and Capricorn speaks Scorpio's language, but really integrity, the language of integrity. All right, and it's purity, integrity, Capricorn, wisdom, Scorpio. But if it's not impure, Capricorn is the great evil that's corrupt, and then Scorpio is untrustworthy as all hell, and they keep the secrets. So of course, depending on your level of integrity, this will help you maneuver what rewards you could be trusted with. And to make sure, that's the biggest lesson here. Let's play an exercise. If you had all of the money and the resources in the world that just manifested So even if you had it before, if based on your own merit and effort, you created something ridiculous, who are the first 5 people you are telling and why? Why would you even tell them? This is where, the Scorpio Taurus ethics or whatever of self-worth come in. Like, are you wanting to flaunt what you have because you're feeding a need to be accepted? Is this something you have to do? It's going to really expose a lot of how you may inadvertently be transforming the status quo and you don't even know it, because people may not have been expecting that from you. Or please understand, you may have hidden wealth, but to other people it looks like you lost what is out there, and now they're looking at you as not as valuable, and you weren't expecting that. And it's like, wow, they don't even know I'm worth even more than that. I literally have assets I've just hidden, but like, wow, now I understand how these people see me. And that's just a very limited example. I don't want to say that this is going to happen for everyone, but just take that as an archetype to feel this transit. It's making sure you're securing that the people who you're around are about it. Because once we have this new moon in Capricorn, you're moving forward with, remember, this is rewards of career. So the 11th house is the final part of you harvesting what the new moon in Sagittarius ascended you to. You're coming into the wisdom of it and what direction to take it in. And it's also going to try Neptune and the arc in Saturn. So this is also in concluding this Capricorn cycle, going now that the flood waters, as you are riding Noah's Ark, has risen this to the mountain level. Now this is getting you ready to really embark on this true journey, which requires faith through the balsamic phase. And we have to also talk about Venus that is in Sagittarius. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? Don't take this the wrong way. Venus, we love you out here too. And Mars, you're in here. Mercury, what's good? Like, I hope y'all know this is behind the consciousness of Sun in Capricorn. This is an entire hoe phase. Okay, Venus is on her hoe phase. And before she goes back into Capricorn and gets all proper again, and is, you know what I'm saying? There's whole phases exist in astrology. And like this, because it's behind the consciousness of the sun and it's releasing it. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Venus had to go through her fall in Scorpio, deal with all this, BS and lies and whatnot. And so, yeah, she going through a whole phase. It is what it is. Mars is just finishing its whole phase. It's going back into Capricorn. And yeah, I know you would think the planets have whole phases. Look at the people in your life. There are people in your life going through their whole phase, trying to act like it's not a whole phase. You're going through your whole phase. Like just, you know what I'm saying? So if you see a massive whole phase, it's temporary, I hope. And like, don't worry, Venus is not going to be there for a while. Venus wants to be free in Sagittarius. You feel me? It's a whole phase. Y'all always try to act like Venus in Gemini is a hoe. Venus in Gemini is a hoe. She just talks to people in Gemini. You see people talk to 5 different people. She likes to talk in Gemini. This is Sagittarius. She getting it off. All right. Shout out to Sag. You allow Venus to go through. She don't go through. If it was Scorpio season while she was here, it wouldn't be a whole phase. It's Capricorn season. It's the winter, you know what I'm saying? Just let her go through her whole phase. You know what I'm saying? I know that's a message to someone. Just let her go through her whole phase. All right, Venus goes through so much in a given year. And didn't she even retrograde? She retrograded this year. She retrograded on the red carpet. Leo, let her go through this whole phase. She's going to be right back in Capricorn. Don't worry. And I hope that message speaks to you. I'm not saying you should go on your whole phase. Maybe you should. But I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying you may find with the square to Neptune and Saturn, very unconventional relationship situations that so you're just going to have to take it or leave it. You're just going to have to take it or leave it. It's a phase. It is a whole phase. It's strange, but it's very magical. And like just fully expect over the next 2 weeks for just like stuff to pop up that you don't want to attach to at all. But it's still experience. It's going to prepare you for the next direction you go. It's going to look so real, but just don't, you know what I'm saying? Just play with it. Just play with it. All right. Enjoy that whole phase. You guys play books as always.